Oh. Hibernation! There's breaking news in the Alex Murdaugh case. Just a minute. Breaking news in the Alex Murdaugh case. I'm going to CNN. Oh, God. Breaking news in the Alex Murdaugh case. Hammer Nation. They just got his verdict. Oh, God. Okay, Hammer Nation. Here's your chance to vote. They don't want to stay till the weekend. That's why the jury reached a verdict. They do not want to stay till the weekend. No way in heck. I think it's going to be guilty. I don't think it'll be a hung jury. If it was a hung jury, it would have taken a longer deliberations. So, Hammer Nation, we are on verdict watch. We are on verdict watch, Hammer Nation. Hi, Wahid Khalid. We are on verdict watch in the Alex Murdaugh trial. I think it's a guilty verdict. I think it's a guilty verdict, Hammer Nation, as far as I know. Hey, where's Vibrant? Oh, Alex Murdaugh, Wahid Khalid. They just reached a verdict. So, a long time no see, Wahid. Oh, he's a South Carolina lawyer, and he supposedly murdered his wife and his own son. It's a complicated case there, Wahid, but right now we're on verdict watch. We got a verdict. We got a verdict. We got a verdict. Yeah, just a second. We got a verdict.
Events including infections, tuberculosis, lymphoma, other cancers, nervous system and blood disorders, and allergic reactions have occurred. Tell your doctor if you've been someplace where fungal infections are common, or if you're prone to infections, have cuts or sores. Allergic reactions have occurred. Tell your doctor if you've been someplace where fungal infections are common, or if you're prone to
we got a verdict, man.
Allergic reactions have occurred. Tell your doctor if you've been someplace where fungal infections are common.
Yeah, we got a verdict, man. Okay. Hi, Ben.
Hey, what's going on, Miss Lady?
Well, we got a verdict in the Alex Murdaugh case.
A what?
A verdict.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't know it was taking that long. Yeah, they got the medical stuff. Yeah, I have all of them. I'll bring them to tomorrow. Yeah. But I didn't think it would take that long to reach a verdict, man. They're gonna find him guilty. I know it. Because he lied. He lied about being at that kennel. And one of the jurors, not jurors, one of the witnesses says when the tape was played, the cell phone video, We saw that dog wagging his tail. One of the guys said, "Is that him? Is that his voice on that cell phone video?" Yeah, they said, "Yeah, it is. There's no doubt about it." Yeah, so yeah, I took care of that. So right now I'm on my show. I'm on.
You are?
Yeah.
Call me after your show.
Well, I'm not in trouble with nothing there. Am I in trouble with something?
No.
Oh, okay. No.
You're never in trouble, girl. Stop
Yeah. Well, I'm on verdict watch, so come on up, come on in. Oh God.
The views and beliefs
All
were.
right.
And apparently the jury reached consensus fairly quickly on what they felt happened, the version of events. Trials are about a narrative. Both sides put together the prosecution and the defense competing narratives. This signals to me that certainly the jury adopted one over the other and did so with relative ease.
Yeah, and if we take a look at the charges, Murdaugh was charged with 2 counts of murder, 2 counts of possession of a weapon during the commission of a violent crime in the deaths of his wife, Maggie, and son, Paul. Were you surprised? Personally, Joey, and you're a criminal defense attorney, how quickly this verdict has been reached? We don't know what the decision is yet, but we will find out fairly soon.
I really am. I mean, you never know. And as we discussed this evening, you never know. And it's certainly reading and speculating in terms of when they'll come back. Will they be delayed? Will they be early? You don't know that. And so with not knowing that, that's fine. But to the extent that they came back this quickly, yes, I'm surprised. It was a rather long trial. Remember, there was a lot to consider. Over 60 witnesses proffered by the prosecution, right?
I didn't think it was going to take this long. They don't want to stay until 10 o'clock. That's what it is.
A rebuttal case by the prosecutor. We've heard closing arguments yesterday by the prosecution, today by the defense, a rebuttal. Why am I saying all that? Because there's a lot to sift through. And when you're sifting through all of that, you would think it would take some time. Apparently it did, a little over 3 hours. But again, I think that they viewed, that is the jury being the they, unanimously, they concluded that there was a narrative that was overwhelming. And as a result of that, they rendered the conclusion that we're about to hear.
So what's your instinct tell you? Good news for the prosecution or the defense?
My instinct tells me that justice will be served, that we support and respect our jury system. And no matter what we do, with people looking at evaluating it, they're in a room.
He's going to go to jail, Lady Law.
We'll have continuing coverage of the breaking news on Aaron Burnett Out Front, which starts right now.
Yeah, he killed his own wife and son, Lady Law.
Good evening, I'm Aaron Burnett, and out front tonight we have breaking news. The jury in the Alex Murdaugh murder trial has reached a verdict into whether the disgraced attorney is guilty of killing his wife and son.
Yeah,
jurors deliberating for only about 3 hours, okay? 3 hours after hearing from more than 70 witnesses over 6 weeks. And we are now standing by for the court to resume and that verdict to be read. Diane Gallagher, as you know, has been covering this from the very beginning. She's out front live in Walterboro, South Carolina, outside the courthouse. And Diane, I understand the verdict came in just about 15 minutes ago. We're waiting to hear what it is. 3 hours of deliberations. What else do you understand is happening here?
They must have found out this guy was a complete.
So, Aaron, as you can imagine, this is a very fluid situation. We have seen some sort of movement of the cameras inside the courtroom, signaling there's something going on, but we're still sort of focused on that seal as we are every time we're in break. According to the pool, at 6:41 p.m., the jury let the clerk of court know that they had reached a verdict. Now, of course, we do not know what that verdict is. Alec Murdaugh facing 4 felony charges here. The most serious, of course, the murder of his wife, Maggie, and his son, Paul. As you mentioned, just about 3 hours of deliberation after lengthy closing arguments from both the prosecution, the defense, and then a rebuttal from the prosecution this afternoon before the judge charged the jury and sent them back. We did know that they were going to deliberate. We were told at least until about 10 p.m. tonight that they were not ordering dinner at this point. They did have snacks and coffee and stuff. And according to Randy Kay, our colleague who is inside that courtroom now, she sort of saw that flurry of activity, she rushed in there, that they did request some materials, incling monitors, potentially want some of those videos. But shortly after we were told that, That's when this jury verdict notification
get these
came
likes
in.
up.
I can
Like
tell you
and
that
share
a
this
few
video.
moments ago, right before actually we came on your show, the defense attorneys, Dick
Man, I
McKeithy
thought
and Jim
this was gonna
Griffin,
be a
Maggie
long
Fox,
jury
Philip Barber,
trial.
they all
Long
walked behind me.
verdict,
Actually,
man.
we are hearing order called in the court at this moment, Aaron, and we are going to be seeing Judge Newman walking up to his dais there to address the court. Again, the jury notifying the clerk just 20 minutes ago that they had a verdict.
And Diane, as you're speaking here, this is the judge, Judge Newman, as you said.
I understand that there's a verdict. You
listen
may
in.
Bring the jury.
Woo! Hey, Lady Law, this is. Are you listening? Are you there? Lady Law, you still here? If you're still here, let me know. Let me see. Lady Law, you still here? Let me know. Let's go. Here it is, Happy Nation. Here comes the verdict. Oh, boy.
All right, you're looking at live pictures. That's Alex Murdaugh there waiting for the verdict. The jury, we understand, has a verdict in this case. This is live, what you're watching right now. Judge Newman, who is presiding, has asked the jury to come in, which is happening elsewhere in this room. And you are looking at Alex Murdaugh here awaiting news of his fate. 4 felony counts, 2 for the murder of his wife, Maggie, and son, Paul. If convicted, the minimum sentence would be 30 years to life. They've indicated they will not go for the death penalty.
Thank you. Madam Floor Lady, if you'll stand for me. Have you reached a verdict?
Yes, sir, we have.
Is it unanimous?
Yes, sir, it is.
All right, if you will pass it up to the clerk, who will pass it to me. And you may be seated.
That's a look good for him, Lady Law. Oh, God. Oh. Let's go, man. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Get the likes up. Get those likes up, please.
Defendant will rise. Madam Clerk, you may publish the verdict, starting with the back, not with the, let's see, I'll tell you again. Starting with the back, flipping them over one by one.
Let's go.
State of South Carolina versus.
Docket number 2022 GS 15-00592, the State of South Carolina, County of Colleton, in the Court of General Sessions in the term of 2022, July, the State versus Richard Alexander Murdaugh, defendant, indictment for murder, SC Code 16-3-0010, CDR Code 0116. Okay. Guilty verdict, signed by the forelady, 3/2/23. Docket number 2022-GS-15-00593, the State of South Carolina, County of Colleton, in the Court of General Sessions, the July term of 2022. The State versus Richard Alexander Murdaugh, defendant, indictment for murder, SC Code 16-3-0010, CDR Code 0116, verdict guilty, signed by the forelady, date 3/2/23.
I'm not surprised at nothing.
Docket number 2022-GS15-00595.
Dog.
The State of South Carolina, County of
Yeah, he
Colleton,
does look like
Court
Jerry
of General
Springer. Yeah,
Sessions, July term 2022.
yeah.
The State versus Richard Alexander Murdoch, defendant.
Oh,
Indictment
God.
for possession of a weapon during the commission of a violent
Oh,
crime.
God.
SC code
A
-16-23
little bit like Jerry Springer. Yeah.
0490. CDR code
Oh, God,
0549.
man. You had
Verdict
it all, you
guilty.
lost it all.
Signed by the foreperson of the jury. Date 3/2/23. Docket number 2022 GS-15-00594.
God.
The State of South Carolina, County of Colleton, Court of General Sessions, July term 2022. The State versus Richard Alexander Murdoch, defendant. Indictment for possession of a weapon during the commission of a violent crime. SC code 16-23-0490. CDR code 0549. Verdict guilty. Signed by the foreperson of the jury.
Yeah.
3/2/23.
Yeah. And his wife. Wahid.
Thank you. Madam Forelady and members of the jury, if that is the verdict of each and every juror, please let it be known by raising your right hands. All right, thank you. Any individual polling requested? Madam Clerk, you'll need to individually poll the jury according to their juror numbers.
Number
What's the reason to
193.
poll them? There's a bit to do.
Was this your verdict?
Yes,
Is it still your verdict?
yes,
Juror 254.
Yep.
Is this your verdict?
yes,
Is it still your verdict?
yes,
Juror 326.
Oh, God.
Was this your verdict?
yes,
Is it still your verdict?
yes,
Dag,
Juror
man.
6, Juror 530. Was this your verdict?
Yeah, we do,
Is this
we
your
do,
verdict?
we do, Wahid, but
Juror
it's up to the
544.
legislature. It's up to the
Was this your
Congress.
verdict? Yes. Is it
You
still
know?
your verdict?
We tried.
Juror 572. Was this your verdict?
Yes.
Is it still your verdict?
Yes.
Juror
We said yes, all of
578.
it.
Was this your verdict?
yes,
Is it still your verdict?
yes,
Oh,
Juror
God.
589.
I
Was
feel
this your
sorry for you, dude.
Is it still your verdict?
I feel sorry for you,
Juror
dude. You lost your
630.
brother and you
Was
lost
this
your
your
mom.
verdict?
Now
Is
you
it still
gotta,
your verdict?
now your dad's going to prison
Juror
for a long time.
729. Was this your verdict?
Oh, God.
Is it still your verdict?
yes,
I feel sorry
Juror
for you, dude. I really
826.
do.
Was this your verdict?
Yes.
Is it
I
still
feel
your
sorry
verdict?
for you, man.
Juror
My
864.
heart breaks for you,
Was
dude.
this your verdict?
It really
Is
does.
it still your verdict?
Yes.
Your Honor, the jury.
I don't know what's going through your head right
Thank
now.
you.
I know
Jury-
you're,
Jury has been polled and the verdict
I know
is
you're
a
just feeling a lot of
unanimous verdict.
emotions right now.
If you will bring
I feel
the
sorry for you, dude.
alternate
You
juror
lost
out
your
and
brother
have
and
her,
your mom,
have a seat
all
in the
because of
audience,
this
please.
ass. Oh, God. Oh, God. You might file an appeal, but those take years. Those take years.
You can stand there or you can sit back there, whatever you prefer. Okay. Are there any post-trial motions?
from the state, Your Honor.
We would just renew our previously argued motions for a directed verdict, and at this, on the grounds, on those grounds, we would make a motion for a mistrial and to set aside the verdict.
By the state, response.
Your Honor, based on our previous arguments, we would submit that the case properly went to the jury and the verdict is proper and would rely on those arguments.
We've been here now 28 days, first few days of jury selection and the remainder
Yeah, lock them up, man.
receiving testimony, an overwhelming amount of testimony and evidence that was presented to the jury for the jury's consideration. As I indicated to the jury during the jury charge or the charge on the law, that this was a matter solely for the jury to determine. The court found at the end of the state's case that there's sufficient evidence to find the defendant guilty if the evidence was believed by the jury.
They believed
Likewise,
it.
at the end of the
At the end of
defense's
the day, they
case,
believed it.
when the motion was renewed, the court found that the evidence was sufficient for the jury to
You can't do
find the
nothing,
defendant guilty.
lawyer.
The jury has now considered the evidence for a significant period of time, and the evidence of guilt is overwhelming, and I deny the motion.
Yeah, put him in the honeymoon
The-
suite with Big
Mr.
Bubba.
Murdoch, you
Yeah,
now having been found guilty
Yeah.
of
yeah.
2 counts of murder involving your wife and your son, 2 counts of possession of a weapon during the commission of a violent crime. The burden now comes upon the court to impose a sentence. Given the lateness of the hour and the victim's rights that must be taken into consideration and complied with under the Victim's Bill of Rights, and consider what I would anticipate to be a number of people who might have something to say regarding sentencing. We will defer sentencing to a later date. Of course, the minimum sentence for murder is 30 years. The maximum sentence is life imprisonment as to each count. And on the weapons charge, the sentence is up to 5 years or 5 years, which has to be concurrent if a life sentence is imposed. When would you all like to reconvene for sentencing? I would like to give everyone an adequate opportunity to prepare for it.
State will be ready at 9:30 in the morning, Your Honor.
We could do it at 9:30 tomorrow morning also.
All right, the defendant is remanded to the custody of the Colleton County Sheriff's
Oh, boy.
Department.
Bye. Bye, Alex Murdaugh. Bye. Bye.
And he may be taken away.
Bye. I feel sorry for you, kid. I really do. I really feel sorry for you.
Madam Foley and members of the jury, I want to thank you on behalf of the citizens of the state of South Carolina and your fellow citizens of Colleton County. You did not volunteer for this service. You were called upon by being summoned to appear, and Providence have brought you to this moment in time and these weeks in time. I know that all of you have been here at great sacrifice, particularly the juror whose job was on the line until a miracle happened, I guess, that allowed him to be able to leave rather than leave after 2 or 3 weeks. But I want to thank each one of you all individually and collectively.
Oh, guys.
It's not often that you're called upon to sit in judgment of the actions of your fellow man, but you all responded, and you gave due consideration to the evidence I will make no comment now as to the extent or the overwhelming nature of the evidence, but certainly the
Oh
verdict that
God,
you
if y'all
reached
have
is
any questions or
supported
comments,
by
come
the
on up.
evidence,
Oh God.
circumstantial evidence, direct evidence, all of the evidence pointed to only one conclusion. That's the conclusion that you all reached. So I applaud you all for, as a group
They looked at everything.
and as a unit and individually,
Yeah, it is.
evaluating the evidence and coming to a proper conclusion as you saw the law, as you saw the facts. Now that you've served for the next year, you're not eligible to serve again. Now, of course, many people never get called upon, but you're not eligible for the next year. And for 2 additional years, you can be exempted from service because no person is required to serve on jury duty in this court more often than once every 3 years. Tomorrow morning at 9:30, we will reconvene for sentencing. You all have no role in that because that's solely up to the judge, to me. You're welcome to come back if you want to and be a part of the audience if you like. I also want to thank the alternate juror who was locked away in a room by herself for these hours, who
Take your L, dude.
Who's hung in there during that period of time. I want to thank you as well. Madam Clerk, what do you have to tell your jurors?
Shotgun, Wahid.
Thank you for your service and what the judge said as well. And I think we can release them tonight and bring them back in the morning.
No, they're off jury duty. They can come back if they like. And you don't have to if you don't want to. Typically, I've seen jurors wanting to see the end result of a case.
Well, you saw Alex Murdaugh let out there with handcuffs on, guilty on all 4 counts, guilty of murdering his wife. And
oh God. He's gonna be somebody's woman in prison. He's gonna be somebody's woman in prison, Wahid. There you have it. Sentencing will be tomorrow morning. Sentencing will be tomorrow. Yep. There was no 2 shooters, just him. No 2 shooters, just him. You know, he was the only one on that property. You know? Audio. Let's see. Yeah. Can you hear me? Yeah. He was the only one on that property. That was his property. That was his property. So money while he was broke. He had financial problems. He lied about he stole money from his clients. You know, he was an attorney. You know? He was broke. He was broke. That was it. From what I understand, he was broke. No, I don't think there was insurance. Yeah, $2 million. I don't know how much it was. Let me just check there, Wahid. Just give me a minute. Okay. Let's see. Alex Murdaugh case. Okay. Yeah, he had money problems there, Wahid. I don't think there was no insurance. He just, Yeah, it does. It does. If you're rich. But I ain't rich. But we're gonna find out tomorrow morning. So he's looking at life behind bars. But I feel sorry for that other son of his. I really do. I really do feel sorry for him. I really do feel sorry for that other son of his there, Wahid. So we'll see tomorrow morning. Hey, it's been a long time seeing you, Wahid. It's been a long time seeing you. It's been nice seeing you, Wahid. How you been? How you been, Wahid? You been doing good? You been doing good, Wahid? I hope you're doing good, because I'll be live tomorrow morning. It's at 9:30 in the morning in South Carolina. So we will have a don't drop, yeah. Oh, yeah, don't feel depressed, Wahid. Don't, please. But I just want you to know that you always be a part of Hammer Nation. Oh, good. We missed you too, Wahid. We sure did. So I'm gonna yeah, well, it's 7:24 here. So yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. So y'all have a good night. See you, Wahid. But the guy's guilty. The guy's guilty. So sentencing's tomorrow morning. So peaches to all of y'all.